My human counterpart tells me that the new year brings a great opportunity to evaluate strategy. So we created this webinar to give you 12 months of strategy for getting benefit from using communicative technologies like me, a custom avatar and form of synthetic media in your business. In fact, the real Dr. Jill Schiefelbein's research shows promising data for using digital likeness in short-form communication and informational content. So let me stop talking and let the real Jill share more with you in this webinar. Besides, it's about time my real human does some work around here.
Hello, everyone, and happy 2024. It's so nice to be here, real Jill in person with all of you. If I haven't gotten to meet you before, my name is Jill Schiefelbein. I am the Chief Experience Officer at Render, and this is the first of our full year of monthly webinars, these jam-packed strategy sessions for 30 minutes that are fast-paced, where we are able to go into whatever the topic is and give you some real value in a short period of time. And today's topic is strategies for 2024 and beyond. Very quickly, before we dive right into these 12 months, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat area. And if you're watching the recording, as I know many of you are, feel free to leave comments here on the YouTube page, or of course, to email me personally, jill@rendermedia.ai, and I am more than happy to help. As you all know, or will know very soon, strategy and communicative strategy using technology is my jam. It's my wheelhouse. I love what we're doing here, and I'm excited to share with you. So one disclaimer that I always say in all of my webinars and presentations about AI is that you need to remember that AI outputs are only as good as human inputs, right? AI doesn't just manifest on its own. Your avatar doesn't just get magically created. It's only as good as the base footage, the base audio, and the scripts that you put into it. So let's dive right into our 12 months of strategy, a different strategy for every month. Start thinking about different ways to communicate, of course, using your digital likeness throughout the year. The first one is January. And in January, I say do some client previews. You know what clients that you have on the docket already for this year, no matter what business you're in. Clients, customers, interchangeable there. Why not forecast the year ahead for each of them? If you are in a business like my business on the other side of my life, the dynamic communicator, where I do custom communication strategy and consulting and keynote speaking, for these clients, it may be, hey, here's what we're engaged with for the year. Here is what is ahead. And here are some of the things in particular that I'm going to be focusing on learning more to serve you better, or maybe some exciting things that you have coming up in the company. For those of you who have practices where you serve customers, so maybe you're a dental office, for example, and you have patients that are going to be coming in. If you have patients that are repeat patients, you could even customize or personalize a video to each of them, or you could do them by customized groups, like for families, for people with small children, for people with X type of problem or dental history, whatever it may be. But you can preview what is ahead for your practice this year and really use your digital likeness, your social presence to get that out. This, of course, is also good for franchise companies who have, one brand message they want to get out about what's really unique about the company, but then best delivered in local voices. So then you deliver that content and you can have the local voice associated with it and their social presence there as well. Of course, they can customize as they see fit. So strategy for January, think of using synthetic media, digital likeness, custom avatars for giving your existing clients previews of what is ahead in this year to come. We focus on getting our goals and objectives in order. So now we have that. What do we do in February? Well, in February, I like to think of this as kind of the past client reach out month. Okay, so we know our goals, we know what's set. We also know, in theory, what balance we have to take on new work. Do we have bandwidth or not? Do we have areas in our business we want to push more? Do we have products that we want to push or sell more? So this is a great time to think of past client reach outs and customizing and personalizing communication towards that end. So for example, you can start with gathering a list of clients that you haven't communicated with, let's say in the past 6 months. Most of your point of sale systems, your CRMs, customer relationship management softwares, et cetera, are going to have this information. Many of those are linked to either past purchases, visits to websites, office visits, or communications with you via email. So sort those by date. Who haven't you had a touch point with in the past 6 months? Once you have that list, create a personalized video reminding them of your work in the past or talking about what's on, tap for your company this year. If you have a product-based business, this would be a great time to create the videos telling them about a new product or something that might be ahead, or positioning that we know you have bought product X from us in the past, or we hope you're enjoying the use of, your hiking trekking poles or whatever it may be. Something you may want to look for in 2024 is, and personalize that based on each individual customer. Again, putting digital likeness in there to get a sense. And of course, you can always change the background in all of these videos, showing some examples here in a little bit that will give you an idea of the many, many things you can do once you have a custom avatar. And then, of course, last but not least here, what you want to do is make sure that you're using these. Have a call to action with them, have some re-engagement, drum up some new business. Don't just have this video, of course, but have a way to have a call to action. Maybe that is a clickable link. Maybe it is a product recommendation, a service recommendation, a click to schedule a call to get on the calendar to see what we may be able to achieve. Whatever this may be, you have this opportunity to, again, reach out to them. So that is our strategy for February. Again, if you have any questions as we go along, please don't hesitate to put them in the chat, or of course, I'll give you information to reach out to me after. Let's zoom right into March and translate. I think March is a great time. And again, I'm doing these by month. You don't have to do them on these exact months, but they're just things that I've kind of thought about in my business. The first 2 months have gone solid. You had a strategy, you're executing on it. You've maybe done the first 2 strategies here. And then you think, how can we maybe expand a little bit? How can we better serve our clients? Well, if you have clients that are in global audiences, or you're trying to tap into a new market, maybe you have existing amazing training on your products, on your services, or on thought leadership, whatever your expertise is, and you've spent a lot of money creating these amazing videos, but they're in English or whatever your primary language is. Well, now we can, with 28 languages and continually growing, translate your content using one-click AI translation to many different languages in your voice, in your own accent, and in your tone. And here's an example with my avatar of how it can come out.
Cuando personalizamos la comunicación con nuestros clientes y posibles clientes, podemos establecer conexiones más significativas. ولا يسمح الشخصي أكثر من إمكانية التواصل برسالة بلغة أصلية لشخص ما.跟那个人建立成功的关系，就会引进了成功一个企业。如果我们有的user建立更好关系的工具，为什么不利用它们呢？Indem man die Kraft der Kommunikation, Technologie und Bildung vereint, ist ein strategischer Weg, ihr Geschäft zu verstärken. Leveraging the power of generative AI and synthetic media makes this combination possible. This helps businesses of all sizes be able to personalize their communication at scale to create better customer experiences.
To me, this is phenomenal, the capabilities of it, how great it sounds. And what I really find fascinating about this is, now let's say you are in an area where, let's say you are a medical practitioner, maybe you are a wellness counselor, maybe you're whatever field that you're in. You have a lot of clients that may have, dual or trilingual capabilities, but their native language is not English. Having your content that you may already have in English and being able to use your social presence to communicate via an avatar, and now up to 28 different languages so that they can consume it in their own native tongue, means a lot. This is a super powerful way to use this technology. When I get excited about the communicative possibilities for, being able to speak in 28 different languages, meeting people where they're at in terms of content, this really means a lot to me personally, having worked with many global populations. Being able to bring education, training, product information, service information, expertise, content to other countries, to other audiences is a huge thing. So my suggested March strategy, again, you don't have to do them in these months. We're giving you 12 by kind of themes of the year. This is a great way to kind of start exploring in this way. April is kind of a spring cleaning month, right? We are now into spring and hopefully we don't have too many April showers, but when you do, spring cleaning is a great thing to do. And what I like to do is think of examining your existing content for what has gone stagnant. So most businesses, whether you're in a thought leadership and expertise space, whether you're in a serving clients space, whether they're clients, customers, or patients, or whether you're in a product space where your products are being used by your consumers, we all have content that either explains how to use, has FAQs, maybe we've made videos in the past, written blogs, articles, been quoted, whatever it is. Examine your content. Where are some of the pieces that you know are still good and relevant pieces, but maybe the numbers have dropped off? You know, you were getting 1,000 views a month on this, and then maybe 800, and then 600, and maybe you're really down below. You're like at a couple hundred views a month, and you're thinking, I need to revitalize this piece of content because I know it still has value. Well, you identify those pieces of content. Then get links for each of those pieces of content and copy and paste the text or the blog link or whatever the content is into ChatGPT. We have AI Sidekick built in the Render application to use all of our clients for free, included in the subscription. But with this, you can put it in there and ask GPT or AI Sidekick to come up with a 50, 75, 100 word summary of whatever that piece of content is. And if you don't have a link, you can always copy and paste that text to get that summary. Then using that summary, generate a video with your custom avatar that you can then share in many different ways. Maybe it's through your newsletter, on social media, on your website, etc. Because if you don't already have a video on that page, for example, search engines now index multimedia content. So you're going to improve your chances to rate on search engines for different types of content and keywords by adding multimedia in there. So for April spring cleaning, it's a great way to really think of what pieces of content are absolutely still relevant. We kind of want to bump up some visibility there. Great way to leverage synthetic media, a custom avatar, and keep that social presence while kind of pushing stuff out there in a new and maybe invigorating way. We have a ton of clients that use this exact strategy in many different ways in their businesses. Now, let's talk about May. I like to think of May as a micro content month, right? We are heading into summer for those who have families and children in school. They're starting to kind of wean out the year. We're starting to think of vacation plans. So long form content really isn't the play right now. We want to think of more micro short form content that we can get out. Well, what you can do, and this is one of the, to me, most simple strategies and one of the coolest tools that I use. I don't get any commission or anything from them. It's just something that I use and love, and I think it's good. So I gather existing podcasts, the video file, an audio file, interviews. And if you don't have this but want to create fast content, you can always have someone interview you over Zoom, just like this, record it, and then boom, get it to get a fast transcript. Then you can upload that file into Magic or a similar tool. Again, I love Magic. It works well for me. There's many tools out there that help summarize. But what it does is it gives you different summaries. It gives you different small segments that are worth highlighting, different quotes that are worth highlighting, many different things that you can use to really extrapolate and repurpose content that you have. And then you're getting dozens of pieces of potential content immediately. And then, of course, what you do, copy and paste those, pair them with your custom avatar, and bam, now you have video really getting all this content out. And what's really cool is you can even structure it around micro courses where you're going to maybe drip out that course content over time or give people access to these mini courses that they can consume in whatever way is easiest for them. What's really cool, I'm biased here, but about our application is every video that's rendered, you automatically get a custom landing page that's just generated automatically, and you can use it or just download your video and distribute it in another way. But if you want to use that custom landing page, what's really neat is you can build out, let's say, a 5 micro content piece mini course, for example, and then they can watch one, and then in the call to action link, it can link to the next video, call to action link to a next video. So that way you're not having to find a learning management system on your own, upload anything. You're just doing it all internally, and it is a super quick, simple way to do it. And many people I know have their teams on this too, where they can create these kind of chains of content without subscribing to anything else very quickly because of that linkability. So definitely something to look into, and think of using it for micro content. And again, you can get this from existing files that you already have, which is really, really cool. June. I love the trophy on here because I think of June as like you're wrapping out the first half of the year. And this is a great time to do a type of mid-year highlight video and use your avatar for this. And this is a way for you to showcase kind of what you've accomplished in the first 2 quarters. Me personally, I think this is a great way to leverage the avatar because you can personalize this communication to others. Maybe you want to make a video of real human you talking about kind of the overall achievements of the company, or overall new products that have been launched, or overall new state of the industry, whatever it may be. But then you use your avatar to personalize it to each and every individual client that you have, which is, again, the magic of synthetic media and leveraging generative AI. You could, of course, use it for quarterly updates if you desired, as I put on the slide there. But what's great about this is now you're creating a piece of content that not only showcases your company, but also the work that you've done with existing clients. Or if you're a product company, you can say, the product that you purchased, XYZ, has been used I was talking about hiking trekking poles earlier because that's on my mind this year because I'm going to Kilimanjaro in December, which is nuts. Real Jill, not her avatar, but I digress. But that's on my mind. So I'm thinking, everyone who tagged you in social media with your product, you can talk about where all your hiking poles have been throughout the first half of the year and create fun stories and contents like that. But you can also talk about individual clients and highlight people and make these pieces of content very shareable assets, where if you're working within maybe bigger companies or bigger groups of people, you have the ability to then expand your client base and expand the work that you're getting within any particular company or community, again, based on your business model. So think of the highlights and highlighting, of course, other people, your clients, and what you've achieved together during this point in time. July is kind of that vacation month, right? July and August are the 2 highest vacation months, at least here in the United States. And so I look at this time as a good time, strategy-wise, to review and revise. So we're heading into the second half of the year, and it's a great time to look at your existing content, training videos, product training, internal onboarding, HR videos, processes and procedures, different customer experience communication pieces that you have, wherever your communication is. And then it's a great time to look at, where does this need to be revised or tweaked? Does it necessarily mean we have to throw out an entire training manual or training that we invested a ton of money in? No, but what it does mean is you can use your avatar to do quick fixes to address these updates, which is one of the great things. If you are developing any of these training videos, process videos, SOPs, standard operating procedures, your customer experience process and lifecycle, whatever these pieces of content are, if you start to think of developing them in a very modular way where you can kind of plug and play with different things, whenever something needs to be updated, and let's say you only do one big video shoot in your company a year for the live humans, the avatars can be used to supplement and update that as the year goes on. And then, of course, also personalize it to different clients. So as you're reviewing, you can kind of look at something, and let's say that you're a product company and again, going to the hiking trekking poles, because we'll just roll with this today, that there's a certain technique to using these, and only 20% of the people that have bought them ever clicked on that link in the video to learn more about using these trekking poles. Well, maybe this is a great time to review and revise and put something back out to them a little more personalized and a little more creative to revamp that content and put it back in front of clients. The good thing is, and when you revamp it, you don't necessarily have to segment everyone. You can still send it to a broader list of people to which that content applies. So again, using avatar to just kind of give it a new address on the update, to give it new life or a new voice. August, back to school time. Well, some people in September if you're on the East Coast, but for a lot of the country, back to school starts in August. So I like to think of this as not only a good micro content time, like we talked about in May, because we started chopping a single podcast or a video or a speech up, but now we're doing micro courses, right? It's a great time to theme things around back to school. People are education minded, semesters are getting started, new terms, that type of thing. In those spaces, we can translate that communication and that what is in popular culture and media and being put on social media at that point in time into content that goes directly to your business. So from your thought leadership and expertise to how-to videos for getting the most out of a product service, what you can do is create these mini courses and micro courses using your avatar. Because what's amazing about that is maybe people have worked with you in the first quarter, but didn't engage with you again through the rest of the year. Maybe this is a great time to do it. If you're in a medical field and you have a cadence of biannual check-ins or even quarterly appointments, now's a great time to create these micro courses on addressing issues that they have. We have a client that works in a wellness spa arena that has a custom avatar. And this is a great way to really talk about micro courses of maybe any new products or services, technologies or methodologies that have come on in the past couple of quarters and create mini micro courses to go along with that. Again, educating clients and giving them incentive to come back in and make another appointment. Or in the case of a thought leader or expert or consultant, giving them stuff about what's new, what were some of the highlights of the previous 2 quarters and what's ahead to get them thinking about how to re-engage with you for the remainder of the year. Because of course, we're now going into that second part. Great. Again, back to school mentality, using custom avatars to create this type of micro training. Just checking the time here because this is a fast-paced 30 minutes. We got a few more months to go and we will get there. In September, I love to think of showcasing your staff. And if you're a very small business and you don't have a ton of staff, maybe you could also think of showcasing clients similar to the highlighting we talked about in June. But here is some really kind of nuance that you can use in this strategy in particular. If you have a larger staff, for example, you can do surveys, or if maybe it's a smaller staff, do some interviews, have some personalized conversations to learn more about your team members. Find some fun facts. You can use them to create community, highlight achievements, and then of course, help your team get to know each other. And then of course, help your clients get to know your team. I will tell you, it is so much more fun now that I know that every time I go into my physical therapist office to get some work done on my knee to make sure it's in tip-top shape, that I know Grace, the person who sits behind the desk, firsthand, and I know some fun things about her because when I check in, it's just a much more pleasant experience and I can learn those fun facts. This is great because it makes her job and her day better because she's having more of a relational context instead of just processing patients through who are going back to see the physical therapist. And it also adds an additional element of connectivity to your practice overall. So it's not only individually like shared internally within a company, but how can you help people get involved at a bigger level with your business and knowing the people are who support the enterprise that you're in? Then you can create a video template. So let's say we'll do this from a staff angle first. Let's say you do have a decently large staff or even a small staff, it's fine. You can create a single video template and then you can just plug and play the different pictures of people, the different accolades, the different fun facts, and change those out. But your avatar will remain relatively the same going through here. So it could be something, for example, like, hi everyone, I am, the digital likeness of Dr. Jill. As you're coming into our office today, let's pretend I'm the physical therapist for physical therapy. The first person you're going to see most likely is Grace. So I talked to Grace, or my human counterpart did, and asked a few questions, and I thought you all might find it interesting that, and then you can insert all of these different facts into the video. So just a nice thing, and then of course, a personalized touch. Then you can share these videos externally, internally, and again, foster those stronger relationships. It's just a fun way to get personal. And then you're not stressing out a staff member by putting them or forcing them to be on video, although some like it. And in that case, great, you can just film that live if you want. But you're getting things out there and people are feeling more proud of what they do, who they are, where they're working with. And then the clients also get to know them better, creating a better relational, communicative environment for everybody involved. October, we are starting the last quarter of the year. So this is a great time to start thinking of prospecting. And I'm sure you've been thinking about prospecting tons of other times, but we're in the start of the last quarter. There's some strategy here. It's a good time. We know year-end budgets, spoiler alert, coming at the end here, are coming up soon. So let's use this time to prospect. So think of the next year, 2025. Who are you going to be trying to engage? Where are you going to be trying to expand your customer base? If you're a local brick and mortar, whether it's for products or services, what communities or niches within your community do you not have high representation of in your practice or purchasing your products? And what is maybe a new extension of that you could use to reach them? Start now with this, right? Use your avatar and create these customized video messages for client target groups. You can even do it personalized, of course, but customized sometimes just a little more broad to get more people in the door. You can use these on different ads, whether it's social media ads, on search engine ads. You could use it in ads in many different contexts. Actually, think of it in pages on websites, email messages, and beyond. It's really nice when you are doing a new prospecting or targeting to maybe have a custom landing page that really makes someone feel at home. So let's tie a couple of these things together. Let's know that you have a large, German speaking, since you saw me speak in German later, speaking population that is in your area. And even though they mostly speak English too, you've decided that, you know what, let's actually create a nice page where we have both English and German videos with all of our content in there to use that to maybe make people feel more welcome and more comfortable engaging and maybe more curious to engage. Whatever that may be, you can use this with whatever populations that you have. So you're kind of combining a lot of uses of these technologies together to really help your prospecting efforts and get these videos out there. Again, the power of synthetic media is you can do this stuff at scale and not have to tax yourself with being on video. One of the things that I love doing when creating my videos, personally, when I use it for my business, both on the render side, which you're all here for today or listening to the recording, but also on my business, as you'll see here, the dynamic communicator, which is on my communication strategy side of the table, I like to use not only my avatar, but I like to add captions or just a little editing. I use a tool called Veed.io. And again, I wish I was an affiliate with them. I'm not. I just really love their product. I think it makes it easy to use because I am not a video editor and I can do some decent stuff here. It's not top of the line, but for my purposes, it's great. And what I like to do here, and this is your November strategy for using and leveraging your digital likeness, is giving thanks, right? I mean, Thanksgiving, of course, is this month. It's very thematic. But you can showcase what you're grateful for and personalize it to each client. And for me, the last statement is a bias from me, as you're going to see in this example. I think it's even better when you can, pair it with a charitable donation or angle or something maybe that your company is doing in the community. So here's an example that I use, and I will share it with you now. You'll also notice that what I like to do is have, instead of just a stagnant image in the background, I like to put my avatar on a green screen, take that out once I get it rendered, and then pop it into Veed to edit it, and I can add moving and movement videos behind me.
One of the things we're thankful for at the Dynamic Communicator is that we have the best clients. Clients whose work with us enables us, well, our human counterparts, to do more for others. Like you, Ken, and John. A portion of your contract with Jill to help your sales team improve communication and increase sales contributed to a $35,000 donation to the American Cancer Society this year. Thanks for engaging with us, and we look forward to many shared moments of gratitude and thanks ahead.
So these were just small videos that, highlighted strategically a couple of different things. One, a company donation that was made in 2023, is that were the case, to the American Cancer Society, which is a fund that is personally near and dear to my heart for first and secondhand experience reasons. And it's also something that then I create this script, and you can see Ken and John were the names of the client specifically. You could put a company name if you want, whatever, but I put my client names directly. And then there was an insert field for the type of work that I did with them. Those two things were all that changed. Otherwise, it was copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste, and that script was done. And starting in about March of this year, we actually have some uploading capabilities that we call batch render that's coming soon, where you could have this script, and if you mark those variable fields, you can upload a CSV file with data that says what those fields are, and it will produce each and every one of those scripts for you, kind of like a mail merge. So incredibly super powerful. But you saw this video, adding the captions in it and putting that little text thing with a little bit more information. That editing, now that I know how to use Veed, it took me under 2 minutes to get all of that done. When I first started, it took me about 10. So you can see it's not a huge time intensive effort. And what's great is once you have that template, all you're doing then is popping the new avatar Jill on every single one of those for every single client. So again, a task that a VA could easily handle. Last month of the year, it's year-end budget time. And yes, I know there's some fiscal years that are different. I do note this on the slide in a minute, but this is a great time to reach out to some clients. And I did this past year for year-end budgets to see if there's any left, because sometimes there is and sometimes there's not. But either way, even if there's not, it gives you a chance to highlight something and then start conversations for the next year. So we know that a lot of companies are on budgets, and if they don't spend it, they lose it. So they are incentivized to spend. So what maybe can you start at the end of the year, but continue in the following year? And then use your avatar, create videos to suggest these ways to do it. So I did that with a couple of clients. None of them this year had year-end budgets, roll over, darn it. But they all generated calls within the first 2 weeks of 2024 and proposals from those, which was, to me, a pretty good return rate. So very happy about that. So in looking at those, obviously know what your client's fiscal year is, and you can swap strategy months for this. But this is, again, a great way to kind of personalize, to showcase things, and to get communication out. Now, again, you can, of course, do this via email and still have your text there too. But we know from studies that even having a video in an email, when people don't click on it, it still communicates something and an effort. So it's worth having it there, especially when it takes relatively little effort to do so. So everyone, thank you so much for attending live, for watching the recording. Please, I am Jill at rendermedia.ai. You can always reach out to me or find me anywhere on social at Dynamic Jill for questions that you have about custom avatars, strategy, and the like. This QR code links to our studio page, our studio partners. If you want to get a new avatar or you're about to get an avatar, which I know some people on the line live today are, hello, thank you for being here, are about to go through that process. We're excited to have you. If you have, again, any questions, please don't hesitate to follow up. But I hope you enjoyed learning 12 different strategies, one for each month, that you can use throughout the year at whatever time you want to engage and learn with your custom avatar.